logging in and joining our Thursday routine weekly briefing. We will be covering the period March 14th through March 20th. So starting off, we're kind of in this mild pattern where temperatures are basically, it feels more like May than actually early March. So we're expecting this, if you look here in the top left, this high pressure that's over the Western Atlantic. This southerly southwesterly flow is pumping this really warm air into the region. So today, we are looking at temperatures getting into the 80s at both RDU and possibly Greensboro. And one of my co-workers, meteorologist here, is informing me that if that happens, it'll be the first time that both of those sites have reached 80 this year. We reached 80 in Fayetteville, I think, in January. And those are our 3 climate sites. So we're going to continue to see the mild temperatures pretty much all the way through the weekend. We are going to have 2 frontal systems that's going to bring some very light rain to the area. The first one is going to move through Friday, late Friday afternoon, Friday evening, and the Friday night. And it will end up stalling across the area and then basically kind of weakening and washing out over the weekend. Now the system tomorrow that comes in, it will be a little bit more convective in nature. There will be a slight chance of some storms, mainly across the western portions of the state. But again, we're not expecting much in terms of rainfall. That front that's stalled across the area over the weekend will kind of stay there until a secondary front, and you're going to see this in the lower left image here. Another front comes in late Sunday, and this is more like Sunday evening, Sunday night. And right now the models are really trending much drier with that system. If we see any rain, it will likely just be across our far southern portions and southeastern portions of our area. And again, it's not looking very convective at all. So I don't even think we'll see any chance of thunder, and we'll talk more about that later. And then the big news is behind that front, and there may end up being a secondary front that comes through on Monday afternoon. We're expecting much cooler air, and we've been running in the 70s for a long while, and we've had very few nights where we've actually been below freezing. But we're expecting to actually have those colder temperatures and also have the risk of dropping below freezing, basically Monday night through Tuesday night, and maybe even possibly again on Wednesday night, with highs in the 50s and stuff. So that's going to be a shock to the system for a lot of places. Again, here's our severe thunderstorm potential over the next 7 to 8 days, and the one area you see is tomorrow. And yes, that is a marginal risk. So usually a marginal risk means isolated storms. We don't believe we're going to have that threat. We think the threat's going to stay well to our south and well to our west. So I would not be surprised as we see updates, especially tomorrow, if we're just basically in a general thunder. If we were to have any strong thunderstorms, it's going to be in the afternoon and evening. But again, we expect that to stay to our south and west. Looking at our rainfall amounts, you can see that, again, it's focused mainly on the Friday period. And if you look at that 7-day total, we're only seeing amounts of basically about 1/10 of an inch, maybe getting towards 1/4 down across our south. I wouldn't be surprised if we end up seeing mostly 1/10 across most of the area, and some places may only see trace amounts. So really not expecting any beneficial rain from this system as it comes through, or both these systems come through. Looking at the WPC excessive rainfall outlook, no surprise since we're not expecting any heavy rain. So what have we seen though? Over the last several days, we have had some beneficial rain up to this point. And so when you look at the current drought status, we actually see some decent improvement where we had abnormally drought and even moderate drought conditions. So we have seen that shrink over the last several days from the rainfalls we received earlier in the week and last weekend. So Something that's new. So, as we get into spring, we always have to start thinking about as the temperature starts to warm and we start seeing things blooming and growing and getting the new growth on all our vegetation. We have to start thinking about issuing frost and freeze products. And so after we collaborated with our offices and talked to the state climate office, it looks like basically, everything out there that's growing, it's about 1 to 2 weeks ahead of schedule. So because of that information, we're going to start the growing season about a week or two early across the area. So across our south, you can see those areas highlighted in orange. Starting Sunday, March 17th, anytime we expect temperatures to basically be 36 degrees or cooler, we're going to be issuing frost or freeze products for those counties. We'll wait a week later for the northern counties, and that will start on Sunday, March 24th. So, I do expect that once we get to Monday and Tuesday of next week, there will be portions of our area that is either under a freeze watch, warning, or advisory. So keep your eye on that, and also keep in mind that, if you do have any kind of vegetation that you want to take care of, you want to make sure that on Monday you have pretty much everything in place. Looking at the 8 to 14 day outlook, a little bit different here. Actually see some blues that are cropping up across our area. So we'll look to see, and when we're looking at some of the meteorologists here, we look at some long-term forecasts, like in that 30 to 40 day outlook. And even like 2 weeks ago, it was showing the potential that late March into early April could be below normal, which is a big change. So we may end up kind of seeing that actually verify and materialize. So we'll keep an eye on that. But it's still showing that, hey, we have above normal chances of rainfall too. So that will continue to help with, with a lot of things, especially fire weather, as this is our typical busy year where we can get some pretty low dew points and relative humidities in the afternoon. And if it's really dry and we got some wind, that can result in some increased fire danger, but this rain really helps with that. So we're happy to see that. So summary, basically, a series of fronts coming through the weekend. May see a few storms on Friday. At this time, we're not expecting storms to be severe. That stays to our south. When it's all said and done, we're probably looking at rainfall amounts, probably mostly around 1/10 of an inch or less, but there could be a few places that get a little bit higher. The mild temperatures are with us, and our two warmest days are today and tomorrow. So we're gonna be right around 82, 83. Not record territory, but still you're talking about temperatures that are 17 to 20 degrees above normal. And then the cold arrives, and you really can't see it here in this graphic, but the cold arrives Monday night, and it will probably last through at least early Wednesday. And with that, since we've, starting March 17th, we're going to actually begin our frost freeze program across our southern counties. That will bring a risk for some frost and freeze next week.